To my world, my name is Vanita. In this channel here, we talk about spirituality, law of attraction, manifestation, love, happiness, and much more. So today I wanted to create a video where I wanted to talk about how did I discover that I was going through a spiritual awakening. As we all know, the world is shifting. There has been a lot of changes in our planet, and there's a lot of people more and more are awakening to this new reality that is being created. So I feel like it is important to know what is happening, right? Globally. I'm not talking about news or media or anything like that. I'm talking about in spiritual level. So anyways, I want to come here and simply share my experience, that how I discovered I was going through a spiritual awakening. I'm not here to give anybody any advice or suggest anything, simply sharing what I went through, what helped me discover and put all these puzzle pieces together to actually figure out that actually I was going through a spiritual awakening. So let's get into it. I'm looking now because I have a couple of notes here that I want to make sure I don't miss any of them. So I want to talk about top 4 to 5 signs. So the first sign I experienced was angel numbers. I just want to say a little bit about me, that I was not someone who was spiritual in any shape or form, and I did not know what spiritual awakening was before this whole thing started to happen to me. So back in 2020 is when I started to go through my spiritual awakening. So it's been quite some years where I've been experiencing shaping myself into this new me, who I am now, this new reality, that everything I knew from since I was born till 2020, things changed completely. So yeah, so let's talk about angel numbers. So first I started to see synchronicity with the numbers. I would see 444 was the first number I actually caught my attention. 1111, 222, 333, 777. Any number you imagine, I saw it in terms of 4 or 5 synchronicity, right? 444, 333, 222, 777, 888, 999. Like you can imagine, I was seeing it 10, 10, 10. You know, doing my regular shift, and I was working on a computer, and I worked with numbers all my, like, at least 10 years of my life. So it was nothing out of the ordinary, but that day it was. So I was working, and I started to see 444, 5555, 6666, 3333, 2222, 1111, and I was like, what is going on? I never experienced anything like this, so what is happening? So I didn't pay any mind to it. I kept going with my day. I kept, working, and as I was working, and what happened to me was that I felt like the numbers were like literally attacking me in my face, where it was like 444, hey, look at what means, like 222, you can look it up, what's happening. And I was just like, oh my god, what is happening? I shut my computer down, my laptop down, and I literally walked out of that room, and I'm like, I need to go into a lunchroom or something, just to kind of like get away from this situation, what's happening here. I was very confused, very lost, very overwhelmed, very like anxious to know like what the hell was that all about, because I never in my life experienced anything like this. So when they say angel numbers, my angels were literally grabbing my attention because they wanted me to know what was happening. So after that, I went back to work. I took a little bit of break. I went back to work, and where it happened again to me, where I was so like in this funk that I felt like I'm gonna like vomit, like I'm gonna throw up, because I was like, what is happening to me? Of like, maybe I'm just feeling sick. Then I asked my boss, I'm like, listen, I need to take a break. I need to walk out of here. He's like, sure, go ahead, do whatever you gotta do. So I go outside, I sit in my car. So what I was saying was that my angels really caught my attention, and they're like, listen, you need to listen. And I was just like, listen to who? What is happening? And so anyways, I went in the car, and I was like started to I grabbed my phone. I'm like, let me look this up. Like, this is something is happening because I don't feel normal. Like, this is not normal. So when I started to look up all these meanings, so like it's angel numbers, like they're trying to get your attention. You might be going through a spiritual awakening, and I'm like, spiritual what is happening, what? So I was like very like curious. I'm like, what? Like, no, this is not happening to me. Like, no, I'm not a spiritual at all, so this cannot be happening to me. Angels are reaching out the wrong person. So anyway, so I, of course, looked into it more to realize that yes, this is beginning of a spiritual awakening. So that was number one, where I started to see all these signs. Angel numbers, pay attention. If it's happening to you, they're trying to get your attention. I was not listening because I was just like, no. But then moving on to step number two after that. So when I was not paying attention to spirituality, that I was going through a spiritual awakening, these angel number, yes, I kind of would like get excited when I would see like 444. I would look up the meaning. I'm like, okay, I'm being protected. They were around me, like, but I wasn't doing anything about it. So I was just living my old life. Then something bad happened. Not to scare people, but that was part of number two I'm going to talk about. So sign number two. Something that happened to me was that I have just purchased my car. Very excited. I'm like driving around, whatever. So one day I was going somewhere, and what happened, I was waiting on green light. I had green arrow to turn left, and this lady comes in and boom, hits me so hard that I was just like, what just happened? Mind you, in my entire driving career, I never got into a car accident. So that was just like, what the hell just happened? So that was something bad that happened to me, that they were like, then I'm like, oh my God, why this happened to me? Then I'm like, again, looking up like meanings of these things. Things were not making any sense at all. And I was like, discover that this is part of your awakening. They're trying to get your attention. So you need to pay attention to the signs and act as you being told to. And I was not doing that. So that's what happened to me. Something bad happened, that where people might, I'm just using my example, I'm just sharing my personal experience. Things happen to people. People may lose their jobs. People may get into accident. People may lose their relationships. People may like have something, sickness or something happens to them or their loved ones. So there's many different things happen to many different people, but my personal experience was that car accident for me. And sign number three, where I started to feel out of place, that as I was going through the awakening, and I obviously know at this point now I'm going through a spiritual awakening, where I started to feel I didn't, like, a lot of relationships didn't belong to me. A lot of my friends, they were fake. Like, I started to see like who was real, who was not real. I started to leave a lot of relationships, a lot of people behind, where it happens, you change as you go through this process. And a lot of people that you might thought your best friends, they will fall out. You will literally leave them behind, and as you continue to move forward in this journey. So that was my third sign, where my relationship ended that didn't serve me in this journey, and I felt out of place in those relationships. So of course I moved on, right? Waking up in middle of the night was another reason that was part of that. I discovered that I was going through a spiritual awakening. I would go to bed and sleep as usual, whatever, and I would wake up between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Mainly, I would wake up and I would look at the clock. It would be 3:33. And I felt like something would be in the bed, like try to shake me up, wake me up. Hey, wake up, you need to wake up and you need to talk to God or to us. And I was not. And there was many times where I literally felt like someone was standing in my doorway, has this axe or something in their hand, and they're like trying to hit me, and I'll be like wake up in like this fear, and I would like literally get off my bed, and I'll be like, oh my God, what the hell was that? But then there's nobody in the room. Like, it's again 3:30 in the morning. So this is another biggest sign. If you're waking up in the middle of the night and it's time between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. But they usually even say 5 a.m. But to me, it was 3 to 4, where I would see like, I would have these weirdest, vivid dreams and scary sometimes. Instead, I would literally feel like someone standing on top of my head and trying to wake me up. And I would wake up instantly. My sleep will be gone and I couldn't go back to sleep after that. So that was another sign, number 4, where I would like experience like someone like would literally want to wake me up when I did not want to wake up. Obviously we're sleeping, right? Like, and especially when you are in this journey, you don't know what the hell is happening. So it's okay. And it's just your guides are trying to get your attention. Sign number 5 is you're going to have this strong intuition, like where you're going to feel like you're connected to other people. Where I remember at my work or anywhere I would go, I would like sense if there was a lady, I will give an example. There was this lady came up and I was helping her, and all of a sudden I get this thing where my body just like felt like flushed, like something went through it, and I was just like, I felt this lady's pain, that she was like alone or lonely in her life. She would walk into, I am still feeling that lady. I still am seeing as I'm talking about it, and I haven't talked about it since it happened to me, which was in 2021, because the awakening started in 2020, and then 2021 is when I had this experience with this lady where I felt, when I looked at her, I saw how when she would walk into her house, there was emptiness in there, and she was not okay with being alone. Like, she was suffering emptiness. Like, there was no kids around her. Like, felt like she was abandoned, right? So I instantly, first 5 minutes of meeting this lady, I like kind of knew everything about her, which was like, I was like, oh my God, like, what was that all about? Why did I? And after her, she left, like, you know, and she shared with me where she wished her life was different. She had more people in her life, and that validated, like, throughout as we were having conversation, that validated what I visioned when I saw her. What I felt her loneliness, her just this feeling that just made me very uncomfortable. So after she left, I had to like walk away and like kind of like take breaths and like kind of recuperate myself back to normal. And that was very extent experience I had. So sign number 5, where it's gonna happen to you, where might not be the same thing, it might be something else, but for me personally, it was that I would feel other people how they felt, and which I still do, which I know how to deal with it now more than I did at that time, because I would take that feeling and I would take it home and I would feel sick myself, like, why did I feel that? Why wish I should have helped her? Like, you know, you can't help everybody, right? Like, so it's like, why did I like feel this? Like, so that's part of that. So those are 5 signs. I'm just gonna run quickly through them, so just so you know what I'm talking about, because I know I went in and out of things. So sign number 1, seeing angel numbers. Sign number 2, something happening, I don't want to say bad, but something happening to like make you realize that, oh my God, time to think differently. So mine was seeing angel numbers, having a car accident, feeling out of place with the relationship. Left a lot of relationships throughout my spiritual awakening. People that I thought were my really good friends for years were just fell out of my life. Literally just fell out. Like, haven't heard from them, they're gone. Waking up at night, like between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Mainly every time I would wake up, it would be 3:22, or 70% of the time it was 3:33. So 3:33 a.m. And number 5, feeling very strong intuition towards people, feeling how they're feeling, feeling like someone's sick or something, feeling somebody's alone, like things like that. So I will, if you guys want to know more about any of this, let me know. I can share a little more details. I didn't want to make this video very long, but I think it is kind of a little bit long. But questions, comments, let me down below. Please do like this video and subscribe to help me figure out that it is helpful and I can create more of this content for us. So yeah, I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day.